What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. I'm playing. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of EXP Share. Today is episode 22, where I share my I fucked up the intro. Something, biggest arts on the planet. You get the idea. Today is interesting because I got some things I want to talk about, but I also want to bring back something that I spoke about recently in episode 17 because it's very relevant today. So, also my earbuds are broken right now, so if there's a bunch of wind, it's because of the tropical storm coming, and it's just looking cooked out here. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's Miami, we're used to it. Which brings up a good point. I'm actually kind of excited. If the tropical storm hits, I have the opportunity to do a ruck outside during a tropical storm. Which, you know, if natural selection takes me, it is what it is. But I'm on day 56. Ain't no fucking way that anything less than a Cat 5 is stopping me from getting this outdoor workout in. I don't give a fuck. And I don't even know if a Cat 5 could stop me at this point. I will at least attempt. Anyways. And worst case scenario, right? Like, I just stay between some buildings. You feel... Alright, this episode's gonna be long as fuck. I can already tell. Anyways, so I kind of want to talk about my day, right? But I'm at a crossroads because I just finished reading the Busting Loose from the Money Game book. And I guess I could start from there. I think I already spoke about it in another video, but if I didn't, actually, yeah, I don't think I spoke about it yet, which is basically that I am taking about half of what I read in the book and the other half I'm leaving. So as I got deeper and deeper into the book, I started remembering why I didn't really follow through with the practices and like the exercises and the tools that they give you after I read it the first time. Because I remember reading it and being like, damn, this is like mad insightful. Like, I really fuck with this stuff. How come I didn't like keep up with it? And I remembered because towards the second half of the book, it just gets so, not scammy, but so like, okay, I know what I'm saying is starting to contradict myself here. But by the way, like, if you want to buy my course, like, you know what I mean? He never says those exact words, but it's like so, that's like I said when I first started the book. The DNA of Expert Secrets is so interwoven in that book. Like, he definitely studied Russell Brunson. I don't know how deeply, I don't know what the timeline is because it is an old book, but there's no way Russell Brunson did not influence the way he wrote the book. And a lot of the way that he speaks about it is like, oh, I was just motivated and inspired to write this book, and everything I do is from a place of pure inspiration and motivation, and there's no ulterior motive. It's definitely not to make money. But also I charged $2,000 for, you know, a private mastermind group, and I wrote this book in the exact way that Expert Secrets tells you how to fucking write a book for, you know, making money type shit, to get people to buy into your philosophy so you can be the expert that guides them. Like, it's so one-to-one. It's like if I now that I've read Expert Secrets, I can just see it so plain as day that it's like, oh, okay, cool, I get it. And I'm not mad at it. He's not like, I'm not saying he's like a scam necessarily, but it kind of gets it to a point because it's like, he'll be like, oh, okay, look, now mind you, once you do these tools, there's no way to know when exactly it's gonna happen. You just have to be patient. And it might not look the same for everyone. So like, I can guarantee you if you stick with it, amazing things will happen, but you just don't know when, and you can't exactly know how, and I can't explain it to you because of everything I told you in this book. So if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you I can't explain it to you, you feel me? But if you want to learn more and you want my personal coaching, you feel me? Like, so where basically I left off with it was that I like the idea of, this is all my consciousness, right? I'm the only entity in this reality because my consciousness can only perceive based on, my reality can only exist based on what I perceive because my consciousness is actively creating the reality in real time. Or, you know, the idea that I'm some divine God that decided to create this sandbox that we call the universe. And, you know, I decided that I want to see what it's like to live under the limits of space and time, because that would just be an interesting experience because I'm a God and I can do whatever I want. The same way that we like to, even though we have the ability to live in this three-dimensional world, sometimes we like to watch cartoons and we like to put ourselves we like to pretend we like to think of what it'd be like if we lived in a two-dimensional world. You know what I mean? When we like draw cartoons, and if we're watching a movie, what would it be like to live in a world where superheroes exist? You know what I mean? Like, the same way we do that, the infinite God form of myself decided, I wonder what it would be like if I lived like a human. You know what I mean? And so that's the idea, right? And I like it because it takes, like I said in another video, it takes away a lot of the stress of having to always like think about what other people are thinking of you. It takes away a lot of just the extra unnecessary parts of life that don't serve you, like always questioning things like, oh, why are we here? All this other stuff, right? And it just gives you, the biggest thing I think is that it gives me a much, much, much greater genuine appreciation for life. Like, I look at a fucking tree and I'm like, damn, I created that. Or like, I'll feel a fucking leaf and I'll be like, wow, like look at this texture, like feel this, like it feels so good. There was a moment the other day where I was literally in my room and I was just feeling everything. Like I'm stone cold sober too. I have to make that point. Like I'm feeling the fucking sound carpets, and I'm feeling the texture of the wall and the floor and like the wood and like, you know, my chair. I'm looking at my computer, my desk, like I'm just feeling the window, the glass, and I'm like, wow, like all these textures, it feels so real, but it's not real. Like it's a creation of my consciousness. Like these are just senses that I created so that way, you know what I mean? Like the reality is that I'm so much bigger and I'm so much more infinite than just like feeling three-dimensional stuff. I created the idea of being a limited being. Oh, there's so many crosswalks. It's mad dangerous. I created the idea of being a limited being, and because I had to be a limited being, I decided to create these things called senses, and that's why that's why I'm under the illusion that I feel and see and hear all this stuff, but the reality is I'm an infinite being, and like time doesn't exist for me, and you know, I'm way greater than anything I could possibly fathom type shit. And so it's interesting because when you go with that perspective, it makes it so that you no longer really judge the events that are happening to you as like good or bad or happy or sad or, you know, frustrating. I hate this, I love that, because everything just becomes part of the experience. Like I'm just here to experience this. So instead of taking time and energy away from the experience by analyzing it and labeling it and breaking it down, I'm just here to experience it, and that's the whole point of it. So that's where the conundrum comes in, because I have parts of my day that I want to kind of talk about, but also I feel like if I talk about them, I'm going to be labeling them as like, oh yeah, I like this part, I hated this part was cool, I can't believe this happened, that was annoying. And although it might be nice for you guys, for me, it takes energy and time away from the present moment. Like I could be enjoying this walk right now and just looking at, you know what I mean? Like that's something that's been happening a lot recently. I know I'm going on a tangent, I'll try my best to come back. I think it's more so because this is the longest I've been sober in a while. But it definitely also has to do with the fact that I've been living in the present moment way more the past couple days, and it feels awesome. Like I genuinely, as I'm just walking or driving or just doing anything, I'm taking many, many moments to just in my head or out loud remind myself, yo, you are an ultimately powerful divine being. You created everything that you perceive. Everything that is around you, all this is in the physical world that you perceive, that you feel, that you hear, that you see, that you smell, everything is a creation of your consciousness. It's your power that created all of this. And when you go and look at the world from that lens, how can you not be amazed? Like, just look at the tiniest details on the most random thing and you're like, huh. Like even down to the most minute details, like you can't even fathom how impressive this creation is. But because it came from you especially, you're just in absolute awe, like, damn, I had the power to do that? That's kind of insane, because my whole life, I just thought I was a regular fucking human. And so from that lens, even though it sounds kooky and crazy, it's not like, it really just serves you to appreciate life more. And it helps you appreciate everything as just part of the experience, because you specifically created it exactly the way that you wanted it to. You're an ultimately divine being. If you wanted to be able to fly, you would be able to fly, but you can't fly, and that's for a reason, because you want to experience what it's like to have to walk. You could have removed time from the equation, so that way you're never late to anything, and you're never early for anything, and you never have to rush, and you never feel impatient, but you put yourself under the limits of time because you want to know what it's like to have to, you know, be in a situation where you're like, fuck, am I gonna make it? And then you're like, oh shit, I made it. Like that moment you can't get if you're an infinitely divine being that isn't under the limits of time. So it's like whenever you're about to be late for something, you feel a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of anxiousness, that's part of the experience, and you get to actually like look at it from that lens of, oh man, like I get to experience this. Anything that's painful when I'm working out now, I'll be like, damn, like I specifically put fucking nerves and pain receptors in my body so that way I could experience what it's like to, you know what I mean, to work out or some shit, however you want to say it. And it's really nice. It really makes, like, there's certain things that, like, certain places I'll walk around that I've walked around hundreds of thousands of times, and I look at it new. I look at it from a different way now. Like, it just looks way cooler. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like getting high for the first time when you're like, bro, what the fuck? I've seen this like a billion times, but now it looks crazy. Like, it kind of is like that, I'm not gonna lie, but obviously to a much lesser degree. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at now, where it's interesting because if I'm under that impression, right, and you guys don't exist, then what's the point of me recording this and putting it out there? Like, I definitely want to have these so I can look back on it in a couple years, but I also don't want to, you know, squander the present moment and miss out on just being able to really live in this experience, because I'm constantly focused on, okay, what's it gonna be like in the future? Okay, are people receiving this content well? Okay, what are they gonna think about it? Because if I love it and I feel good about it and I move with an intention that I know is pure and it's just out of genuine inspiration or just something I want to do, theoretically it should always work out, you know what I mean? As long as I put the work behind it. And I guess that kind of makes us go back to the original point, which is where I leave the second half of the book out, because I think that's some straight up bullshit. The way he talks about it is like, oh, if you continue to do this process, blah blah blah. Yo, why is the lighting like this? This is crazy. What the fuck? Where he's like, okay, if you do these certain steps and you like reclaim your power or whatever, you can expand back into the infinite being that you are and start tapping into the powers that you had. Like, it's a whole lot of bullshit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Because the whole idea is that if you took away all your power to live in this fucking human experience and to not be able to do shit, why the fuck would halfway through you just be like, oh, I guess now I kind of want that back now? It's like, what do you mean? Like, the whole point was to put yourself here. So why would you like partway through just be like, okay, now I'm gonna reclaim my power and use it so that I can be an infinite being, but within the limits of the human? Like, it doesn't make sense to me, at least. It just makes sense in the sense of, if you buy my course, I'll show you how to, you know, not worry about money anymore and always have great things happen to you type shit. And yeah, I don't buy it because, one, it's way too convenient for him to make money, even though he claims that he's not here to make money. And two, because I like that part of the human experience. I like the painful parts. I like the anxiety. I like the stresses. I like the ups and the downs, because that's what it means to be human. It means to have to go through all that bullshit. There shouldn't be, I don't think the goal at any point should be to get rid of all the stress and anxiety and to get rid of all the painful parts of being a human, because that's just going to cause you more pain. So instead it's about, you know, I like the Tim Grover style of, okay, if you're going to be a human and you're going to be on this planet, you might as well go balls to the wall and go hard as possible, because you're capable of a lot more than you think, you know, Andy Frisella style. Because the way he presents it is like, oh, don't you want to live a relaxed, peaceful life full of joy? And it's just like, bro, that's not realistic for a human. You know what I mean? And that's his whole premise. It's like, well, you're not a human, you're an infinite being, and you can reclaim your power and live like an infinite being. You won't be able to reclaim all of it, but you can reclaim enough of it that you can, you know, never have to worry about money again and all this other stuff. And it's just like, nah, I'm not here to do that. I have a whole life to live, and I don't know if I'll ever get to play this human game again. I don't know if I'll ever get to play this human game again. So I want to experience it full force. And I don't know, maybe with that I might actually stop doing these XP shares. Or if I do, maybe I'll just make them only for me. Because it doesn't matter whether I post them or not. I've been doing this posting because, like I said, I was fully transparent about it. I read it in a book, and it seemed like maybe it'd be kind of cool to, you know, have these to look back on and document the process. But I think now, honestly, especially as I'm just talking out loud and thinking about it out loud, y'all probably can't hear me at all. It doesn't matter. As I'm thinking about it out loud, I think the more I really just live in the present moment and experience everything that I want to experience, because everything that I get to experience is what I want to experience, because this is all purposefully made for some specific reason. It doesn't matter what the reason is, but it was made for a specific reason, and I was put here to experience this thing the way that whoever or whatever decided that it needed to be done. So why would I squander that opportunity by getting caught up in this? You know what I mean? And that doesn't mean we're not gonna make content. I mean, I'm a fucking music artist in the year 2023. Like, I have to give y'all content. I have to give y'all value if I want to ascend the ladder. And that's something I'm genuinely motivated to do. It's not like, oh, I feel like I have a fear, of, if I'm not successful, people are gonna look down on me. It's like, no, I just know I have a lot of talent. And I'm a lot more talented than a lot of other motherfuckers, and I can do some great shit. And it's like, why not challenge myself and overcome this incredibly fucking difficult task of trying to blow up as an artist, you feel me? So, yeah, I don't know. I think if I keep doing these, if I feel inspired to keep doing them, I will. But I think I might just go back to just living in the present moment as much as possible. And when the time comes that someone is so enamored by my story that they want to follow me around with a camera, and I get to still be me and do my stuff and like live in the present moment, it's just that there'll be a fly on the wall and then they get to record it, then sure, y'all will get that. But until then, I think I gotta go back to just enjoying the present moment, because it really is fucking beautiful. And yeah, so maybe this might be a hiatus, or maybe I'll never do these again. But I'm actually really happy. Like, I got to document this whole little mini journey up until now. You know what I mean? Like, people are gonna wonder why I act a certain way, and I got to actually document the thought process of not thinking this way at all, and then discovery of the idea, and then like twisting it in my own way. Like, that's kind of fucking sick, I'm not gonna lie. So in that sense, I'm actually really happy. Yeah, this might be the last one, so I guess I'm trying to make it impactful, make sure I don't fuck up. Well, it's not gonna be the last one, it's just gonna be the last one for now. And I guess the idea is when you see these start up again, and I'm a even more fucking evolved person, and like my mindset has changed even more, you know, just imagine if only in the past, 20 something episodes, I've gone through this many different changes and developments, you know? Just imagine, it's gonna be crazy. Life is fucking crazy, and I'm here for it. So yeah, let me go back to experiencing that. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.